Hi, this is Ashley Swartz. I'm here with Beat TV and the SMG Source team at CES. I'm very excited and fortunate to have Stewart Easterbrook, the CEO of SMV in London. Thank you for joining me, Stewart.
Thank you very much.
So you just came off a tour, right? Which one?
Yeah, that's right. Just came off the Commerce Plus tour.
And tell me about your thoughts. What did you walk away with? I mean, it was a fire hose of information, I'm sure.
It was a fire hose of information, yeah. I mean, it's quite staggering, really, when you see all the stands there. I think there are some really interesting themes, actually. One of the big themes that we saw this morning was around device diversity. So really understanding how now there are so many devices that allow a really seamless transference of content across screens. So it's really on a consumer's terms rather than being on a device manufacturer's terms. And I think that has all sorts of implications.
Well, I mean, as far as sort of fluidity of content, right? The first screen, meaning the television, and that now being part of that ecosystem is what's important. What does it mean for advertisers?
Yeah, I think it's got some big implications for advertisers, actually. Firstly, the pace of change is absolutely extraordinary. So there were 42 different screen resolutions released into market just in the last 2 months. So it's almost impossible to keep up with. In fact, it is impossible to keep up with. And I think the challenge there is that advertisers and broadcasters need to be really sophisticated and really smart about the sort of content that they are developing and how appropriate that content is for different screens. Because it's not actually just the technology of it being different screens or different screen sizes, it's a different context in which consumers are consuming that video when they're operating on different screens. And I think that's those twin things that is vitally important.
I mean, you know, we see sort of different adoption rates and different trends in Europe, and Europe is a very different market. What is most notable to you as far as being here at the show and then taking it back to your market?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Europe is a very different market, really quite advanced in some of these areas. So in the UK now, connected televisions have a 60% penetration. I think for advertisers that we work with in London, who are often running simultaneous multi-market campaigns, the effect I've just described about designing and executing different types of content for different types of context is even more amplified because you've got all sorts of different markets across which they're trying to communicate, where we will have to tailor-make content for those markets to be sympathetic to the culture and the state of that market itself.
And, I mean, you know, the fact that Europe isn't a country and localization is a challenge, that idea of repurposing content and optimizing it is much more part of the modern conversation. Do you think, though, that your clients and advertisers are sort of ready for this fire hose of new platforms and new channels to market to really be able to embrace and realize the opportunity?
Yeah, I think reasonably ready. I mean, I think it's almost impossible to be ready because the pace of change is so extreme that you just can't quite imagine what's coming next. So I think it's more a case of going back to basics, actually, and really understanding the core message that an advertiser is trying to communicate, and then make sure that they get that message powerfully across on the greatest communications opportunities, whichever sizes and types of screens those might be.
Awesome. Well, great. Thank you, Stewart. Have a great time in Vegas. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.